Kevin Steele coming to the defense, and you talked about the linebackers, but there are some bright spots. You want to? Oh, yeah. What are your thoughts? And I saw him kind of get back into it with the media a little bit.
That was funny.
Which it reminded me of playing for Kevin, I was like, wow, that sounded like brought me back to college. But what is the defense like, and from what you've seen and experienced, and who are some of the brighter spots on that defense?
It's going to be multiple, just because offenses are going to be multiple. We're really going to just try to get pressure with 4. Every now and then we might bring a backer or a safety, particularly when you see guys like Corey Flagg is good at anything wherever his feet start on that play, even with where his feet start or going forward, he's wonderful at. If you got to flip his hips and you got to no. But wherever he starts a play, so he can come on a delayed blitz. He's been really good at that, making knifing through in the run game, delayed blitzes for sacks and things like that. Really good in that. I don't love him in coverage. I don't love him in space. But hey, plus positives and negatives for everybody. But yeah, the defense is really predicated on the defensive line, just beating their man up front. Akeem Mesidor twice this year has been ACC Defensive Lineman of the Week. Leonard Taylor is your reigning ACC Defensive Lineman of the Week, and he's really taken a step forward recently. Cristobal and both Taylor himself said they had a meeting. It was Taylor, his mama, and the coaches, and because he flashed, that 5-star talent and everything, and they were like, "Yo, if you're trying to really be about this is what you need to do from your preparation, from your practice, from your nutrition, from your extra weight, like all of this. If you're trying to be the number 3 overall player in America, the number 1 defensive tackle, the guy who flashes if you want to be that dude all the time, because you're a guy, and he could probably, keep the same progression and go to the NFL and be a guy. But if you want to be the guy, this is what you do." And he's really taken that to heart. He's gained, he said, 10 pounds in the last month. From really taking his nutrition seriously. Shout out to Anthony Edwards. He stopped all that Popeyes and everything, treated his body like an elite athlete, really, doing the extra work just across the board. And he's really stepped up his game. So he's great inside. Darrell Jackson Jr. transfer from Tennessee coming down. He's been amazing inside as well. Jared Harrison Hunt rotating in there. And then Mitchell Agood, transfer from UCLA. I would say those 4 leading the 4 plus Harrison Hunt leading the defensive line. What?
Who the hell would stop eating Popeyes? That sounds like a criminal offense.
Well, I mean, it's because of the lack of nutritious value. You know what I mean? You got to hit your macros, and if you're trying to gain the weight and everything, you got to turn some of that jiggly fat into some, lean muscle, or it's just all kinds of that, stuff. But yeah, he's really been doing that work, and it's been showing up on the field. So I say all of that to say that the defense is predicated on those 4 guys up front winning. And that's in the run game, that's in the pass game. Now, the linebackers, Corey Flagg, if it's a run play, great. You've had lots of injuries. Wesley Basaint, I think, is going to be that guy, but he got injured. So then now you're playing 2 middle linebackers because Caleb Johnson from UCLA, he slides over and he plays the will next to, Corey Flagg is the Mike, and things like that. So that's been an area where it's been getting a little bit better, but still needs to be where it needs to be. Defensively in the backfield, the defensive backfield, Cam Kinchins leads the way, center field. James Williams, he can play center field, but he also will creep down towards the line. I know that he hates it when people say this, but that second level is where his body is going to take him. 6'5", 235 already before. I mean, he's a cheeseburger away from 240, guys. So, I mean, now he's not really imposingly physical. He still likes to just nudge with the shoulder as opposed to wrapping and driving through. But he still flashes elite play. It's just in a variety of different areas. You see a lot of 3rd down packages that have Williams down in the box, Kinchins over top, and then Avante Williams also at safety. Tyreek Stevenson has been the best cover corner on this team. I would like to see him shadow Johnny Wilson on Saturday, just because DJ Ivey has played better throughout some of this season, but when it's really bad with DJ Ivey, it's terrible. I mean, that's still, the 98-yard touchdown given up to Middle Tennessee State, that's on his head. The fake punt touchdown to Georgia Tech last year, that's on his head. Things like that. So there have been coverage breakdowns. And this is where and this will obviously happen in Miami, Florida State, where you've shown something and then you show the wrinkle. You remember that time that Cam Newton called out an audible and Luke Kuechly or whoever was like, oh, this is this. He's like, oh, you watch film. Okay, now watch this. And then they went to the Texas route instead of the angle route with the running back. Those things in the passing game will be touchdowns. And we've seen that. So if you have, because Miami's defenders, particularly James Williams, DJ Ivey, and Cam Kinchins, because it's happened all three this season, when they think they know what's coming, they're going to go cheat and be like, oh, I'm going to make a hero play. And all of a sudden there's a guy 20 yards behind him and the opposing team is celebrating on the other sideline. And we've seen that in multiple games. So that's a thing that concerns me in the passing game. But to the point of, Kevin Steele kind of pushing back on whoever asked that question on Monday about the explosive passing plays, there have been fewer since the 27 million that we gave up to Middle Tennessee State. Now, there were 3 explosives of 30 yards or more against Virginia Tech, but none of those scored. There were a couple that were overthrown. There was one against Virginia Tech. Sorry, that was Virginia. Virginia Tech had 2 wide open, and Virginia Tech is just the worst team in captivity, so they missed those. But those would have been touchdowns if they would have hit those. So and that's where I push back on what Kevin Steele said about, well, like if you look at explosives in the program and all that stuff, if you look at the near misses, like those fastballs down the middle that instead of hitting for a home run, you foul it straight back, but you're right on the fastball. There were 2 other in Virginia. There were 3 in Virginia Tech. You can see where the coverage breakdowns still exist, and that's something that concerns me.